They called him a threat, but the only threat was the truth. Before we dive into this heartbreaking and powerful story, pause for a second. Think of all the stories that go unheard, the voices silenced before they could speak. On this channel, we bring those voices back to life. Don't scroll past. Hit that subscribe button right now because the struggle is real and the truth must be told. Join us in uncovering the untold struggles. Now, let's begin. The screech of steel on steel filled the underground tunnel as the subway train rattled into the 14th Street station. Fluorescent lights flickered above, buzzing with that faint hum that made everything feel just a little colder, a little harsher. Among the crowd stood Marcus Green, a 32-year-old black man, wiry but strong, with a worn backpack slung over one shoulder. His hoodie was faded, his sneakers scuffed, the marks of a man who had been through life's storms and hadn't come out untouched. Marcus wasn't loud. He wasn't reckless. But today he was tired, hungry, and the world had pressed its knee on his neck for too long. As the subway doors opened, passengers shuffled inside. Office workers, tourists, a mother with two kids clutching a stroller. Marcus followed, sliding into the corner near the doors. He muttered under his breath, not threats, not curses, but fragments of frustration. Man, ain't nobody care. Can't even get a meal. City don't see us. Invisible, huh? Just ghosts. Some ignored him. Some shifted uncomfortably. And in the center of the car, a tall white man in a leather jacket, Daniel Price, watched Marcus with narrowed eyes. Daniel wasn't NYPD. He wasn't MTA security. He was just a passenger, but one who believed himself judge, jury, and executioner. Marcus rubbed his stomach. His voice rose, desperate but not violent. I'm hungry, y'all. Ain't a skin for money, just a sandwich, something. Ain't no crime being broke, right? A few riders averted their gaze. One woman pulled out her phone, recording. Another whispered, he's making me nervous. That word, nervous. It floated through the car like a silent trigger. Nervousness could turn into fear. Fear could turn into action. And Daniel Price, standing tall, clenched his jaw. This ends now, he muttered. He stepped forward. His hand gripped Marcus's shoulder. Daniel, sit down. Stop scaring people. Marcus, confused man, I ain't touched nobody. What you? Before Marcus could finish, Daniel's arm snapped around his neck. Passengers gasped. The train jolted. Marcus stumbled back, his windpipe compressed. The scene unfolded like a nightmare caught in slow motion. Daniel dragged Marcus to the ground, tightening his forearm around Marcus's throat. The sound was raw, animalistic, Marcus gagging, choking, his fingernails clawing at the arm that cut off his air. Yo, stop. He didn't do nothing, shouted Jordan, a young black man, filming with his phone. But Daniel didn't stop. His face twisted with grim determination. His voice hissed through clenched teeth. I'm protecting people. He's a threat. A threat? A man begging for food? Marcus's legs kicked weakly against the subway floor. Chalk dust from his sneakers smeared into white streaks, as if marking the last traces of his fight. Please, can't breathe, Marcus wheezed. Passengers begged. Some pleaded for Daniel to let go. Others froze, paralyzed by fear or silent agreement. 3 minutes. 5 minutes. The chokehold went on, until Marcus's body went limp. The subway car was silent, except for the rattle of the tracks. Marcus lay motionless on the floor. His hoodie twisted, his backpack spilled open, a half-empty bottle of water rolling across the aisle. Daniel stood above him, breathing hard, chest heaving like he'd just finished a workout. He looked around, expecting applause. But instead, phones. Everywhere. Recording. Witnesses capturing every brutal second. Maya, a young black woman with tears in her eyes, whispered, "You killed him." Daniel's face tightened. He adjusted his jacket. "No, I protected us. You'll see." But the silence was heavier than the screech of the rails. By the time the train stopped, EMTs were rushing in. Police followed. Marcus's body was lifted onto a stretcher, lifeless. And yet, Daniel Price wasn't in handcuffs. Instead, officers nodded, patted him on the shoulder, and guided him gently to the platform. "Sir, we'll take your statement." Neighbors shouted. Maya screamed. "Statement? He murdered him. Right in front of us. You saw it." But the badge looked at Daniel, not Marcus. At the man standing, not the man lying cold. Because in that moment, authority wasn't about truth. It was about perception. And Marcus, even in death, was painted as the aggressor. Family, if your heart is pounding right now, if you feel the injustice burning in your chest, then don't just watch in silence. Hit that subscribe button so stories like Marcus's are never buried. Stay with us, because what happens next will leave you speechless. News spread fast. Headlines didn't say man killed in subway. They said, subway passenger subdues aggressive man. Victim later dies. Aggressive. That word. It burned through communities like poison. On social media, videos told a different story. Marcus begging, Daniel choking, bystanders screaming. But in press conferences, officials painted Daniel as a good Samaritan. The community was split. Some said Marcus was unstable. Others said he was murdered in cold blood. But for Marcus's mother, Evelyn Green, there was no split. There was only grief. At the press mic, her voice cracked, but did not falter. My son wasn't a threat. He was a man. He was hungry. And instead of food, this city gave him death. Weeks passed. Protests filled the streets. Candles lit corners of the subway station. Yet Daniel Price walked free. The DA's office said the case was complicated. That intent was unclear. That juries might not convict. Complicated? Maya slammed her fist into her phone screen as she live-streamed. It's only complicated when it's us in the grave. If it was the other way around, Marcus would have been in cuffs before his body hit the ground. The chants grew. Justice for Marcus. Justice for Marcus. But justice never came. One rainy evening, Maya scrolled through footage, frame by frame, second by second. And then she saw it. Not just Daniel choking Marcus, but another detail. A second hand. Another man pressing down on Marcus's chest while Daniel choked him. His face barely visible in the corner of the screen. It wasn't just Daniel. Someone else was involved. Someone who had disappeared into the crowd. Someone who had not been named. And the chilling part? The badge on his belt. An off-duty cop. Maya gasped. She dropped her phone. The whole city had been told this was a civilian vigilante act. But the truth? The system itself had its hands on Marcus's neck. And the cover-up had only just begun. Fade to black. Family, you've seen how quickly truth gets buried. How quickly lies are written off. But here on the Untold Struggles, we refuse to let silence win. If this story shook you, hit that like button, share this with everyone you know, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Most importantly, subscribe now so you never miss the truth they don't want you to see. Because Marcus's story is only the beginning.